Hello there, and welcome to another edition of 5th grade math. My name is Mr. Manella, and joining me today is the insidiously gray duo Stu and Gene. How you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. My allergies have been bothering me a lot less lately.
Yeah, me too.
His allergies still bother me, though.
How do Gene's allergies bother you?
Well, he's always making these weird references and comparisons to things from stuff I don't know about. What the heck is prog rock anyway?
It's the music of the gods.
What?
Weird references and comparisons? Do you mean allegories?
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, man. Allergies.
Uh.
Like sneezing when certain things get in your nose.
Oh, well, I certainly know how that goes. Things go in my nose all the time. It's like a vacuum. Sneezing helps me clean it out.
I just wish you would warn me when you're about to do it. It's louder than an explosion.
You realize the kind of force I need to generate to clean out this bad boy? It's gonna make some noise.
Once again, we find ourselves down a rabbit hole that has nothing to do with 5th grade math. Can we move on, please?
What did you call me?
I didn't call you anything. A rabbit hole that... You know what? Never mind. All right, we need to do some math, okay? We need to talk about multiplication, okay, with decimals. It builds directly upon what we learned with multi-digit multiplication. You guys ready to build on some math?
Will it be like building with Legos?
Not really, no.
I got a Lego stuck up my nose once. Man, I had to sneeze so loud to get it out, and it was covered.
No, that's enough. That's enough. Do not finish that sentence.
Gross.
Yeah, way to understate things, Gene. And I'm glad you did, because Stu is in the business of overstatements. Ugh, we have math to do. Let's check out how the process works.
Yeah.
When you multiply with decimals, the process really isn't much different than multiplying with whole numbers. The only difference is the decimal point itself, which we save for the end.
Like dessert.
Kinda. Let's look at the problem here. 249 times 6.7. To do this problem correctly, we just need to count the number of digits after a decimal in our factors, and then follow our normal multiplication steps. How many digits in our factors? Remember, a factor is a number that is being multiplied, come after a decimal point.
Just one, the 7.
Right, so let's hold off on that information, okay? We're going to need it at the end. Now we just pretend the decimal isn't there and multiply normally.
You mean we don't have to make our snowman?
Not for multiplying, no.
Oh, I miss Mr. Buttons.
Mr. Buttons.
Yeah, that's what I named the snowman.
And a fine name it is, but we don't need his help today. We are also not going to spend a ton of time focusing on the steps of the multiplication, including estimating before we solve, because we did that in the last video. If you need a refresher, please watch that. We'll also cover it a bit more on the whiteboard after this, and we'll estimate for that problem. Okay, to get our first line, we multiply 249 by 7, and we get 1,743. What do I need to put in my second line before I do the multiplication?
Z to the E to the R to the O!
Correct. We need a 0 because we were multiplying by the tens place. Let's put him there and then multiply 249 by 6, which gives us 1,494, which is really 14,940. What's next?
You need to add the two lines together to make that sweet, sweet music. Like when Geddy Lee and Neil Peart are locked in at a minute 40 on YYZ.
Oh my gosh, see what I mean? I have no idea what he's talking about half the time.
Yeah, now you know what it's like to be me when I talk to you. Okay, he's right though. We add the two lines together and we get 16,683. We're not quite done though. We still need our decimal point. Gentlemen, where do we put the decimal point when we affix it to a number that needs it?
The butt!
The butt?
The butt.
Correct, the butt. Now, because we determined that there was one total decimal place in our factors, that means our answer needs one total decimal place. We start on the right and move the decimal one place to the left, so our answer has the same number of decimal places as our factors together.
Wait. So it's kind of like we just divided our answer by 10.
It's exactly like we just did that. That's because we got rid of the decimal in our factor, 6.7, by making it 67 before we did our multiplication. We multiplied 6.7 by 10 to do that. So now we need to undo it. And that gives us our product, also known as the answer, 1,668.3.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, to the whiteboard.
To the whiteboard. Okay, so let's try one more problem with decimals, okay? Now the first thing we need to do is figure out how many decimal places are in our factors. We don't need to line up our decimals, okay? I know you miss your snowman. Would you call him Mr. Buttons?
Yeah, Mr. Buttons.
Okay, I mean, he'll be back at some point. He's going to be around all year, okay? He's just not in this problem right now.
Okay, we don't have to line them up.
No. But
Man, it looks so weird.
we do need to figure out how many decimal places there are. There are 3. I like to underline them before I do my multiplication and then come back to them, okay? I'm not going to get rid of my decimals. I'm going to leave them there, but I'm not going to do anything with them while I multiply. Okay, so now, 5 times 8 is
40?
40.
Yeah, what he said.
0 there, 4 up here, okay? And also, let's just estimate this problem before we go on. I can show you how estimating with decimals works. When we estimate with decimals, we should still round to the highest whole number place. So, this is the tens place. What is 32.45 rounded to the nearest 10? Remember, you're looking at the 2 to see if you're going to round up the 3.
Thanks, that was a good reminder. I was going to round to 32, but if we round to the tens, then we're rounding down to 30.
30.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
30.
All
Okay?
right.
So it'll be 30, and then 8.8, we're still going to round to the nearest whole number because it's going to end up being a single-digit number, so it won't be a problem multiplying it.
Oh.
What would 8.8 rounded to the nearest whole number be, Gene? What do you think?
I'm going to call that 9, dude.
It is 9. 8.8
Yeah.
is a lot closer to 9 than it is to 8. Okay, so it would be 30
Okay.
times 9. That would be our rough estimate for multiplying with decimals, which would be 270. Okay, so our answer should be something close to 270.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, we got a little bit interrupted there, but it's important to go over this, okay? Because multiplying with decimals can be especially tricky because if you get an answer that's like, you might get the exact right answer but put your decimal in the wrong place and you'd still get the problem wrong.
Ah!
So this way you'll be reminded, oh, I've got to go this many places to get this number that's got to be
Ah.
close to 270.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 times 8 was 40. And we put our 4 up there. Now we have 4 times 8. What's that, Stu?
32,
Plus 4?
36.
Correct. Put our 3 up there. I'm going to handle this one. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 3
Yeah.
is 19.
Yeah.
Okay, put our 1 up there. 3 times 8, Gene.
The 3 times 8?
3 times 8.
24?
24 plus 1.
25?
25 is correct. You got it,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, we
Ah.
put our Uncle Zero. Uncle Zero still happens, okay?
Oh, hey, Uncle Zero.
It's still Grandpa and then Grandma. Now here's a trick I want you guys to learn. And I always see students do this, and it's like, you're wasting so much time, okay? We already multiplied by an 8. We don't need to do it again. We can just rewrite this line right down here with an extra 0. Because it's going to be the exact same numbers.
Whoa.
That's pretty rad, dude.
Shortcut.
It is. Yeah, and like, I don't want you to take shortcuts all the time, but sometimes
Yeah.
in math there's a really perfect one. You know, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Okay?
We already figured that one out.
I
Right.
like part of that.
Now just make sure you put them in the right order. So 0,
Uh-huh.
6, 9, 5,
Uh-huh.
2.
Whoa.
We don't have to do the math again, as long as we did it right the first time, and I'm pretty sure we did. So
Yeah. Error
Now-
is additive.
we're going to add, just like we normally do. 0 plus 0 is 0. What's 6 plus 0, Stu?
Still 6, I reckon.
I reckon you're correct. 9 plus 6, Gene.
I'm going to call that 15.
It certainly is. We're going to carry our 1, okay? 1 plus 5. You know what you could actually do here to make your mental addition even easier? You could
Yeah.
add your 1 to your 9 first and get a
Oh,
10.
yeah.
And then add your 5. So what's that?
That's just
It's
15.
another 15. How about that?
I
Okay?
love that idea.
We put our 1 up here. 1 plus 2 plus 5. Anybody?
8.
You're right.
8 is great.
You say so. Okay? And then there's nothing above the 2, so we just bring down our 2. Now,
Whoa, that's a big number.
it is, except we're not done. Okay? Because we're going to end up making this number considerably smaller because we have decimals to deal with.
Yeah.
So, before I give this number a decimal point, I need to put that decimal point somewhere, and it goes where?
The butt! The butt, the butt, the butt, the butt, the butt.
That is correct. And
Yeah.
we determined that there were 3 decimal places in our factors, so we're going to move our decimal 1, 2, 3 spots. You always, when you add a decimal for multi-digit multiplication, start on the right and move to the left. Do not start on this side. Now, if you had started on this side and moved it 3 spots, you still would have gotten the right answer, but that's because you would have been lucky because there were 6 spots here and you were moving it 3, okay?
It's
So
just
don't be like,
luck.
well, I could have started on the right. Yeah, you could have and it would have been right, but that doesn't mean you did it right.
Oh.
So, start on the right, okay, and then move to the left. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like when you're throwing things and they accidentally go in the trash and it just so happens that you were throwing trash. That doesn't mean you were doing the right thing, okay? It just means that the trash happened to go in the trash.
Yeah.
So, start on the right, move it 3 spots, and now we have 285 and 560 thousandths. Is 285 fairly close to 270?
Oh, heck
Yeah.
yeah.
It is, okay? But if we had only moved it 2 spots,
Uh-oh.
then we would have, 2,855, and that would not be close to 270. So
No
that's
good.
why we
Yeah.
estimate with our whole numbers to make sure that
Ah.
we move our decimal to the right place.
Yeah, like, it not only helps you know if your answer's right, it kind of helps you know if you put your decimal in the right place. which
Absolutely.
I guess is the same thing as your answer being right.
It is a requirement.
Awesome.
What do you guys think? Think it's time for a recap?
Yeah,
Woo!
recap.
Let's do it. So, to recap, when you multiply with decimals, you follow the same steps you do with multi-digit multiplication. You just have to keep track of how many places in the factors, that's the numbers that you multiply, come after a decimal, okay? And then, at the end, you put your decimal where?
The butt.
On the butt of the answer, on the right side, and then
Yeah.
move it over however many spots you need to move it. 2 decimal places in your factors,
Two
move your
spots.
decimal 2 spots in your
Yeah.
answer. You guys got it?
I think so. I mean, I'm a little distracted. What's he doing?
I believe that's called rocking out. Were you rocking out, James?
Totally, dude.
Okay. What were you rocking out to?
Tom Sawyer by Rush, dude.
Was Huck Finn there? He's really in a groove.
He sure is. We better let him just go with it, okay? This
Yeah.
concludes our video lesson. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Let's go dance.
Okay, let's go dance.